Question number 9. Let's take a look at this. Here's a point, -1, comma, -1, right? -1. And then there's this expression, okay? Find the value of k if that point lies on that graph. What that means is for every value of x, I'm going to plug in a -1. For every value of y, I'm going to plug in a 1, okay? So let's see. K times -1 squared minus -1 times 1 plus y squared, which is 1 squared, is equal to 5. Now this is going to be k. Well, let's see. This is a -1, but it's a minus here, so plus 1 plus 1 equals 5. Okay, a little simple equation, right? So k is equal to 3. Look on your answer choices there, and for that problem, that is answer choice B. Okay, 10 says we need to see which one of these equations is written as y as a function of x. All right, let's see, y as a function of x. Now, we are familiar with this notation, f of x. We understand what that means. Question. If this is a graph, okay, of two-ordered pairs, is y a function of x? And the answer is no, because for the same x value right here, I have two different y values. So this is no, okay, and then this would be yes. Okay, I could do that. Another way to look at that is you cannot have a parabola like this, this is an example of x equals y squared. Okay, one way to understand this is you can have your y term squared or to an even power. And that is because it could take a positive and negative value and work in your equation, but it won't work in the graph. In other words, you cannot graph that in functional format. Now, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this guy. 2x plus 3y minus 1 is equal to 0. Yeah, I could solve that for y. That's not a problem. So that's a yes. So A is true. Now keep in mind B has square terms, so that's out. C, 2x squared y is equal to 7. Well, there's a square term on the x, but the y, yeah, I mean, you could solve that. 7 over 2x squared. If you could solve it for y, then that is, you can express it y as a function of x. You could do that. So that means that answer choice C is true, okay? Now, A and C are true, so that's answer choice E. Question 11, so here's my function. Again, here's my function. All right, and we got to find f of 1 minus f of 5. F of 1 minus f of 5. Well, f of 1 is something. F of 5 is something. Okay, remember the function is what? Absolute value of x minus 3 minus 5. So let's plug in 1, okay? That will be 1 minus 3, which is -2. Absolute value is 2. 2 minus 5. Let's plug in 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. Absolute value of 2 is 2 minus 5. All right, that's -3 minus -3. -3 plus 3 is 0. That would be answer choice A. 12. 12 says which function is an even function? Let's review that for a second. Okay? This is an even function. This is an odd function. Well, actually, that should be on the origin, okay? Now remember, on an even function, you could have it flipped, you could have it moved up or down. Still, the line of symmetry is the y-axis. Well, let's see. Let's look at A. A is a sine function. That won't work. B is some kind of strange function. We know it's not even because you got an x cubed in that. D is a square root function. We know that's not even. And so let's take a look at C. Let's write it. F of x is equal to 3x to the fourth plus 5x squared minus 1. That's even, and that's a constant. You can have that in an even function. So yes, that's an even function. That is answer choice C. 13. Find the point that lies on the line determined by the points blah. Okay, so here we go. We have a line, and there's two ordered pairs on the line. Here's one, -2, -4. Here's another one, 1, -3. Well, so the answer choices talk about find a point that lies on the line. Now we could develop the formula for the line. We could, and then plug in values. But if we realize that the x is changing 3 and the y is changing 1, okay? So if we begin with the 1, -3 and recognize that the next point up the curve would be the y is going to go up by 1 and the x is going to go up by 3. Let's just add 3 to the 1 and get 4. 1 to that and get -2. Let's add 3 to the 4 and get 7. Add 1 to that and get -1. Add 3 again to the x and 1 to the y and get 0. That would be how I would do that problem. That is answer choice C. Question 14. Determine the slope of the line given by the equation. Well, see, this is just a form of a linear equation. Just solve for y. I moved these terms to the right side. Divide by 4. 6/4 is 3/2. Now, it just wants a slope, okay? So this is a slope. Answer -7/4, which is D. Okay, here's the question. Describe the transformation needed to sketch the graph. Well, okay, so the first graph is y equals 1/x. That's really the parent function we talked about in that handout. That graph looks like this, okay? Now, if I did 1/x plus 1, it's going to move that graph up 1. If I did 1/x minus 1, notice the number is with the x, okay? It's inside the function. That would move it to the right 1. Now notice what they gave you. Y is equal to 1/x plus 2. It's outside the function, so it moves up 2. So for 15, that's answer choice C. Question. Use a vertical line test to determine which of the following graphs does not appear to be a function in terms of y. Okay, so we know this fails a vertical line test right here. So it's not B. This passes, so it is a function. That passes. Now, these are asymptotes over here, and they would, if I do vertical lines all the way through here, I'm only going to hit the graph once at a time, once at an occasion. So yes, all of them pass but B. So the answer choice is B. Okay, find f of 1. This is a piecewise function. For the values that are less than 2, I pick the top function. For the values that are greater than or equal to 2, I pick the bottom function. Now notice the directions given are asking us to find f of 1. that is in the domain of the top function. So it's like having the equation y equals x squared minus 5. Now plug in 1 for x. 1 minus 5, that's negative 4. So my answer is negative 4. And for 17, that is answer choice A. Okay, we have a product in 1998. It's $78. Okay, and they're saying it decreases $5.75 per year. So it's going to decrease over a period of years. So the function, we could say the product is equal to 78 minus 5.75 per year. How about I just say per year? Well, the only problem with that is they're saying in 1998, our y would be 0, and the first year here would be the first year, second year, and so forth. But they're saying t is equal to 8 here, so that would be t is 9, t is 10. Okay, you can read the question there, right? See over here. So we're going to have to adjust our little formula. We can't say y, but we could say t minus 8, okay? And that would enable us to line up the x value or the y value here with the proper number that would cause the function to work. And I believe that is answer choice D. Now, you could have made a mistake picking A and not thinking. So for A, I took off 2 points. Okay, here's question 19. It has to do with a business. So in the year 1993, it had this much money. Year 1996, it had that much money in sales. Assuming the pattern follows, what's the retail sales in 2001? Well, so I did the slope, and I found it's $29,000 per year. So now the question is, how many years go from 1993 to 2001? Looks like 8, okay? So what am I going to do? 124,000 plus 29000 times 8. And I want to add that all together, get 356,000. And that is answer choice, that's dollars, right? It's answer choice A. That's how you work a problem like that. Question 20. So in order to get a profit, you have a revenue function and you have a cost function. So the revenue is what you bring in when you're selling your objects, and the cost is how much it costs to make them. They're giving you the revenue function is 69.99x, and the cost function is 59x plus 850. Now let's just unpack this. So you're selling something for $69.99, $70 per unit. It's costing you $59 to make them, and your startup costs are $850. Question, when am I going to make a profit? It's going to be after this certain value of x. Now what I could do is I could set the two functions equal to each other, okay, right? And if I set them equal to each other, then I could solve for x and see where they intersect. Move this over here, 1099, and that is equal to 850. I do some dividing, and I have 77.34. Well, now hold the phone here. I can't build half a car. At 77, I haven't quite reached the break-even point, and at 78, I did. So it's 78 and over, okay? And for that, that's answer choice A. All right, so these are the problems worked out for that last test. I hope that helped you out.